Alright, hey there. How's it going? I wanted to make this video and kind of talk one last time about PentaCon. Wow, it is hot. It is hot in here. I'll tell you that much. I wanted to make one final video because I uploaded the last one that I recorded from PentaCon in the hotel, which was the days 2 and 3 discussion. And it felt kind of weird to just leave it on that note because that was back. These are old videos I made back when I was there, and I've had time a bit to reflect a little bit. I don't want to talk too long, but I do want to just kind of say my final thoughts on everything, because this was a pretty monumental occasion, all things considered. It was a pretty big deal. I was surprised by how much I enjoyed it. I want to give you some thought process of when I was thinking of going to PentaCon. If you had asked me like 2 years ago, after the first PentaCon, basically my thought process was, all right, there's no way I'll ever be able to go to that unless they come closer. If they come to the East Coast of the United States, then I'll be able to do it. But it's like Texas, so far away. I never go that far. I've only ever stuck to my East Coast little states over there, Mid-Atlantic, and so Texas is the furthest I've ever gone. But really, when I sat down and budgeting out everything that I needed for it, it was a lot of money, that I put towards it. But I was looking back at all the other things I've done, and every other one it's always been like, no, it's really not realistic that you can have enough to go do this thing. There was other conventions I've been to, other things I've done. And I'm really like, okay, this is just the next big thing. I got to do it not only for the experience, but to prove to myself I can just do that. And really, it's like, should I spend this much money on this event? Probably not. But it's also like, I view things like experiences I value most. So if I can have an experience like this, like a big event to really remember, that's worth way more to me than saving up a couple more months towards something in the future. I'm more of an in the moment kind of person, I guess, but that's why I always like doing these videos. Even reaction videos themselves have always been like time capsules. It's like as a memory that I have right there, I'm sharing with everybody. And I can always go back to, because really, believe me, there's so many things in my life that I'm that happened years ago, even conventions I went to when I was in high school, and I'm I remember really enjoying them, but I don't remember the specific details of them, and I'm like, dang, that sucks. Because now, any event I do, any concert I go to, I can go back to my video and literally hear myself detailing each thing as it's happening. I'm like, okay, I can relive this again. And that's something I really like to do. I think it's cool. If I'd had that my whole life, it would be crazy to be able to go back all those years and basically relive those moments. Yeah, but aside from that, it's PentaCon was one of those things where I was thinking, am I really that big of a Pentatonix fan? I love Pentatonix, I know that. But am I at that level? I always question that. I'm am I at... Because I really was never... I was in the community YouTube-wise, but I was never really engrossed in the, different Twitter community, interacting, all the specific things. Been a part of stuff, but never got really into it. So I was like, there's not going to be... How many people am I really going to know there? I don't know. I'm not a social butterfly, so it's not like I'm gonna be able to get along with anybody and everybody. But I'm very glad I made the decision to do it, because really going there, I was like, man, this is so weird. I'm gonna be seeing these people that I've only known online, and so many that I don't know from online at all. So I'm like, will I just be sitting there with nothing to do the whole time? Have no one to really talk to? But no, it was quite the opposite. There was always someone around, and I was surprised by just how inviting the environment was, in that everybody there is something so special about an environment like that. it's something I talked about when I went to PAX East for the first time. I went to New York Comic Con, but more so PAX East was the first time I was really like, wow. If you don't know, that's a gaming convention. After that, I was like, wow, that's like my people there. It's like you go there and you just have this general feeling that everybody there, they're there for the same reason. They love video games in some shape or form, and it's something. It makes interactions easier because you always have that one common thing you can fall back on. It's not like you're gonna say, "Oh, what video games are you into?" and they won't have an answer. They'll always have an answer to that, so you can always go off of that. And that's a huge convention with hundreds and thousands of people there, so it's nonstop crowded. This is a complete opposite, where it's like a purposefully intimate convention, but in that same vein, and even stronger than at PAX East, I feel it's like you're really surrounded by like-minded people, and it also really highlighted how many differences we have too, because there are people from so many different parts of the world. I've met people from so many different countries just in that one weekend, and I was really amazed because it is as cliche and corny as it sounds. It's like there is a feeling that you're all part of this big family, even if you don't talk to each other every day, even if you never even interacted with this person. You can sit right next to them and be like, oh man, I love this Pentatonics video. We're all watching the videos together, we're all involved in these activities, and you just know they have a common love for the same thing. And just like with the other convention I went to, it's like that does make for interactions being easier. Some people were easier to talk to than others because some are obviously more charismatic and can carry a conversation easier, and it's like, oh cool, this is fun. Some were more difficult, but you could still always fall back on there's Pentatonics, and there's like no reason to have any animosity towards people there. It's all based on the same love of something, and it's really crazy to think about, but something I found really special about it. And even right now, I'm trying to make sure I remember everything I wanted to say, but I'm sure I'll forget something. Even now, I always go into these videos and I'm like, I should probably write down what I want to talk about, but no, I'll just wing it and it'll be natural, right? I definitely wanted to get that point across, that it's such a friendly environment and everyone's so welcoming, and this one group brings so many people together, and I came out with more friends than I had going into it, so that's something I didn't really expect. Like, people always told me when PentaCon was just a twinkle in my eye, they told me, oh, expect a lot of hugs. I'm like, alright, yeah, sure. I imagine that would happen in a convention, and people talked about how friendly everybody is, but it's like, okay, you're not going to say people are not friendly. I don't know. I always view things in that way, but then seeing it for yourself, it's like, okay, I get it now. I really get it. You have to be there. You have to see it yourself to really understand, wow, this is something special, and it may not be the biggest convention, but it certainly has like such a big impact just going there. And I'm very grateful to all the people I met on out there. The stars really aligned in a spectacular way, because the concert just happened to be the day before. Evolution of Rihanna happened to drop there, so that was two other things that people could grow and connect around. Honestly, the one thing about the concert is I loved that was like kind of the way we all were brought into this experience before PentaCon. I thought that was really cool. I was meeting people in the hotel way before PentaCon even started, so it was like PentaCon was almost an extra day. But at the same time, I was like, I kind of wish the concert happened after that, because I would be much closer with the people there at that point, because I think most of the people I had met there were new to me, because again, I'm not huge in the Twitter community. I have a limited amount, and I knew the reactors, of course, but we didn't even really interact that much. But it's really crazy how much your perspective changes in so few days, to where it's like, when you first go in, it's like, wow, that's actually Rob and Phil sitting there. It's very surreal. And seeing reactors, seeing the parents, all these people around. But then by day 2, you're like, oh, there's Rob and Phil. They're sitting over there. Cool, of course, as always. They're always there. And they're there. It's just like everything just makes sense, and it's all, everything belongs where it is. You know, all these people that came from all over this hodgepodge of random people. It's like, oh, it just makes sense now. This is our reality. Is that I can go over, I can walk a few feet over there and talk to Alex, the reactor. I can talk to Hassan. I can talk to the committee. I can talk to some parents will be there. There's Mario Jose. He's just hanging out. It's crazy. I'm very grateful for all the people I met. And what I'm going from this is, my Twitter my Twitter feed has never been more active than it was during PentaCon. It was crazy, and it was really a lot of fun. It was great seeing so much love outpouring on Twitter and just so much interaction going on. So what I'm trying my best to do, obviously it won't be at that level. Of course, it's hard. It's impossible to maintain that level when you're not in person with all these people. But I want to keep interacting on Twitter and being more involved with the community when I can. I want to keep making videos because it kind of revitalized me in a way, because, you know, I've always been unsure of the exact direction I want to take things, and even with me wanting to do new videos outside of music related stuff, this really reaffirmed in my mind that, okay, music is something I do love. It's not as old and like established as my love of things like video games and television, stuff that's been around all my life. Music's been around all my life, but it was not a huge pillar of my life until 2015 when Pentatonics came into it. And it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of got me passionate for it again. It's like, okay, maybe I am that level of a fan. Like, I'm actually at a Pentatonics fan convention, and I do Pentatonics reaction videos on a Reactors panel, and that's a whole other thing that I just love, and I'm very appreciative of being even included on the Reactors panel. You know, I'm a very realistic person. I'm an honest person. I know I'm not the most popular reactor. I know there are tons and tons of more out there. But I do think there's something to be said about the people on that panel, because the panel of people have been there for years. So it's like we've all been working towards this for a long time in a way, and we've all done very different things, and there are plenty of huge channels that have tens and hundreds of thousands of subscribers that get a lot more views on the reactions, but it wouldn't make sense for them to be on the Reactors panel. Their love for Pentatonics isn't as true, and it's very hard to explain, but it's like, I think it's nice that I could say the people on that panel weren't there just because they get views or because they put out Pentatonics reaction videos. They just happen to throw them out there, and it's because, you know, we've all shown our love for the group in one way or another, and I think it's genuine. So I think there's something to be said about that. I'm really honored to be even on that panel in the first place. I'd love to go to PentaCon again. Really, it's an unforgettable experience for me, and I'm glad I got to at least talk about it in these videos, so I can always go back and remember everything that I went through. And yeah, I didn't expect to come out with more friends on the other side. It was like, you know, I didn't go into a 5-day affair for me, basically, just like on thinking that it wasn't going to go well. I obviously thought, all right, I'll get some enjoyment out of it. It'll be nice to say I've done it, and I'll be like, okay, if I don't really like it, all right, I don't need to go again, but at least I went. But now it's like, wow, this is like something that needed to happen for me. It was almost like a wake-up call, right? It's because I spent so much of my life just in this job that I'm doing, in the schoolwork that I'm doing. It's just a constant cycle. It's a grind, and really routine can bog you down, especially me being someone who likes to do things, creative things when I can. It's really takes a toll on you doing these monotonous like things that feel purposeless. It's like I gotta go to work, but this work isn't fulfilling. I gotta go to school, but it's such a grind to get through. And it's something like this. It's like, wow, I was able to distance myself from everything, actually take this 5-day break. I never take vacations ever, and it was very nice. Got to like clear my mind and hopefully walk away with some lifelong friends from this. You know, I've always had problems holding on to friends throughout my whole life. That's a whole other video. But, you know, I always try to be a reliable friend, and then people just don't keep up. They don't want to bother. And then it's like I'm back to this lone wolf style thing. Oh, and another thing I wanted to talk about is, before I end this video, because I'm already going too long, is I give off this feeling from me. I have almost split personality in a way. I have several different sides of my personality. One person could see me in the same day as another person, and I would have two completely different personalities. There's the version of me that's like, always sitting in the corner, just being quiet to myself. You know, that's a lot of me at school and things like that. At work, I don't talk too much, but you'll find when you do talk to me and when you get to know me, I open up a lot more. I'm able to have fun and actually joke around, and it's night and day, really. Like, I'm sure some of you who met me there were probably thinking, oh, he's just a little shy, little awkward guy. He doesn't want to talk to anybody. I'll let him be. But in reality, I'm thinking, no, I want to talk to you all, and I love hugs. There's also this impression I give off at first, I think, that it's like, don't touch me. I'm the awkward guy. I don't want to be touched. But no, that's not true either. It's not true. It's you just gotta reach out, man. Some of my friends there will tell you, they can attest to the fact that I was hugging a lot after by the end. Yeah, you know who you are. You know. Okay, I don't know what else to say. There's probably something I'm missing, which is going to be awful. But I wanted to make this video because I presumably won't have any reason to talk about PentaCon for years to come, which is crazy to think about. It's potentially 2 years from now. It will be the next one, and 2020. It's going to be a long time of not really getting to talk about it, so I hope I can continue to interact with people I've met there, and I hope to meet more of you next PentaCon. Of course, I'm assuming there's going to be another PentaCon, because this one was so wildly successful. You know, I know the first one was successful and everything, but this one seemed to really blow it out of the water in terms of outreach and how many people were positively affected by it. Not to mention Scott and Matt showing up made it such a huge thing, and it's like all these things happening around the same time. It was just a beautiful conglomeration. I obviously don't want to start naming names of people that I met. I just know that I'm grateful to have met you. I think you know who you are because I've reached out to you on whether I reached out to you on Twitter or not. It's because if I start naming names of people, then I'll forget people, and it's not good. Never good. So thank you for watching. I love you, and I truly mean that. And this is something I won't forget. I really, the only thing I can do is I continue to do what I'm doing. And again, I know I'm not the most popular reactor there, but I pride myself on being honest, giving constructive criticism, and also trying to do these creative series and whatnot when I can, and that's what I want to look forward to doing moving forward. I'd love to do more collaborations too. I love that kind of stuff, and whenever I can move my hands around like this, by all means. Wow. I just don't want it to end, because after this video, when am I going to get to talk about PentaCon again? The best thing I can hope for is months before the next PentaCon, they'll start teasing upcoming stuff. Let's hope there is a next PentaCon. I'd be honestly shocked if there wasn't, but hey, things can always happen in unexpected ways. So until then, or never, that's it. That's all I want to say. I'm back here, and tomorrow I want to do more videos.